Well, thank you guys for coming to the call tonight. Apologize for being just a little bit late, but we did have some storms here just a little bit before I came on, and wasn't even sure I was going to be able to get to have the call because the internet went out and was out for a good 25 minutes. But it did come back on just in time for me to be able to get on the call here, so we're not too late. But this is my weekly Here to Help You webinar. Come on here once a week to do some sort of a demo or presentation. Answer questions I got through the replay page, the form it's on it, and then any questions I got through email. And then if you guys have any questions live, we'll answer those here tonight as well if we possibly can. If you've ever been to one of these before, you know these calls are not here to sell you anything. I might mention a product that's being released this week, or I might have a product that I have myself that's coming out. But these are here, I'm not here to promote any of those. I might mention those things in passing of what's coming up this week. Like I said, this is your guys' chance for once a week to come on here and learn a little something and get to ask questions, and hopefully you'll learn something here that will help you in your online business in some way. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and start a presentation. I got a little small presentation tonight. We're probably not going to be on here very long tonight, and it's probably a good thing since we're having such bad weather here in East Tennessee tonight. But what I wanted to talk to you tonight about, let me pull. Over the past weekend, I got into a discussion with some other marketers on ethics and critical thinking, and it reminded me of a course that I took in college. Of course, it's been many, many moons ago since I was in college, but I remember this lesson in this particular course really well. And it just brought to my mind, this would be, a great little lesson for you guys that you can apply to not only your online business, but you can apply to just about anything. And of course, when I took this class in college, there was no internet marketing. There was barely internet. And when I was in college, they had, rooms of little computers that had the little black screens with the green type on them, they were in the labs, and there was no desktop computers or laptops at that time. But anyway, when I took this class, it was a class on critical thinking, and I remember I was forced to take it. And at the time, I kind of, I wasn't too happy about it because, I just wouldn't, kind of like when you was in school and they made you take algebra, you never figured you're going to use algebra for anything. But if you think about it, you use algebra every day of your life, you just don't realize it. Well, it was the same way with this critical thinking class. When I was forced to take it, I wasn't very happy about it and thought, well, I'll never use this. I don't know why they're making me take it. But after I got into the class and we went through some of the lessons, it wound up being one of my favorite classes. And this one particular lesson we're going to talk about tonight, like I said, can apply to lots of ways in your life, but it can also apply to your online business, and I'm going to give you an example of that. Okay, so what we're going to talk about tonight is a lesson called Challenge, Choice, and Change. Now, challenge, choice, and change is an exercise in critical thinking by which, before making a decision, you weigh out all of or most of the possible choices to solve a problem, and then receive some sort of a desirable outcome from the choice that you made. So let's identify the different sections here a little bit. And like I said, this is going to be real quick. I'm not going to give you the whole hour and 45 minutes that the professor gave me on this lesson. I'm going to give you guys the quick 10 or 15 minute version of it. But let's analyze it just a little bit, what the various parts of challenge, choice, and change is. The challenge would be to identify the simplest form of a task or a problem. And in our example, just to apply it to online marketing, we're going to say our example is building a website. So the choice section would be to make a list of the possible ways to complete the task or solve the problem. And given our example of building a website, we could choose to either do it yourself, hire a professional, or get your nephew to do it for you. That would be, and of course this is all made up fictitious. there's lots of other choices you'd have for building a website, but I'm just going to use these as an example for this lesson. So then the change part of the equation would be what happened when you made your choice. An example would be like if you chose to do it yourself, it took longer than expected. If you chose the hire a professional, the job completed in a timely manner. If you choose to get your nephew to do it, the website may have turned out lacking professionalism, maybe cartoonish looking, or you could tell somebody young done the website. I know you've seen those websites that high school kids make. They're not very professional, but some people still do that. But anyway, like I said, these are just hypothetical examples. So with the challenge, choice, and change, the point of this exercise is to think through the possible outcome before making a choice, and once a choice is made, to learn from the experience of the choice that you made. Now, obviously, what we just went through was a really oversimplified example. In reality, each one of the sections you could and you should break down into even further uh, listings in each one of the sections. For example, with the build a website example we're working with, the challenge would also involve like choosing a domain name or using an existing one, choosing a web host, or choosing whether to use HTML or CMS, an example, a WordPress site. These would be some of the additional things you'd have listed under the challenge section of your task that you're wanting to complete. And then likewise, the choice and the change sections would include more options or outcomes. But the key is to have the info written in a written form in front of you so that you don't get surprised and make rash decisions. That's the whole reason for the challenge, choice, and change, is to, before you attempt to solve a problem or complete a task, analyze the choices you have to make for completing it, and then the possible outcomes that might happen from each one of the choices that you would make, so that you're not surprised or get excited or panic when something doesn't turn out right, that you've thought about it a little bit beforehand and kind of expecting what might happen. Now, that's not to say that you're going to be able to list out everything, because not everybody can do that, and I guess probably nobody can list out every possible solution. But if you list out the things that you're having to choose from, and then the possible changes that it can make to the outcome, it's a high probability that you're going to hit most of them, and that one of them will be what happened, and then you'll be ready for it and know how to react to it when it happens, instead of making a rash decision and backing up and starting all over again because you didn't make the right choice. So when you analyze tasks or problems or challenges like this will help you to achieve the resolution faster and more efficiently, and often cheaper. And like I said, you can apply this in many, many, many different ways in your life, not just online marketing, but just about any decision you have to make when it's a task or a challenge that you're going to have to think about how to solve it before you attempt it. And if you just take a little bit of time just to list out the possibilities and the things that are involved in making the choice, and then, like I said, think a little bit ahead as to what could possibly happen from the choices that you made, you'll see that your outcomes will most often already be listed out for you. And like I said, you're going to know ahead of time what to expect, and what the possible solutions or outcomes could be, so that you're not surprised and like I said, panic and start all over again, or scrap the project or whatever it is you might be working on, or make a rash decision and make a choice that that just totally doesn't help you at all. I use this same logic in everything that I do when I run across something that I'm not exactly sure how I want to do it myself. Now, after you've been through these things and you've went through this process a few times, it gets to the point where you can realize these things in your mind instead of having to list them out and write them down. In other words, the next time you're faced with building a website, you automatically know the things that are involved in building that website, the choices that you're going to have, and then the possible outcomes because you've already been through it once before. So, it helps a lot, especially when you're facing doing something new that you're not used to doing yourself or you've never attempted it yourself, and to know, what to expect from the choices that you make and how to, get it done the most efficient way and, not stress over it. And like I said, most time it's going to be more efficiently done, and often in most cases, you're going to save money by thinking just a little bit ahead on what the possible outcomes could be. Okay, so like I said, that was a really short lesson, and I was reminded of that this weekend. So I just thought it would be, something good to bring up tonight. That just a little bit of forethought into, tasks and challenges that you face. Just a little bit of forethought into those things, can save you a lot of time and stress. And most often, especially when you're dealing with building a business online, you'll wind up saving money in the long run by, thinking just a little bit ahead on, what your possible outcomes could be and what your desired results that you're wanting to achieve. Did that make sense to everybody? I know you might have to watch this again for that to really sink in, but it does work. It really does work, folks. And like I said, the first time you do it, it may seem a little silly, but then once you went through the challenge, achieved the goal, and you look back at what you wrote down, you see that it matched exactly. You'll see the logic behind it and the reasoning behind attempting that or doing that for everything that you're attempting to do that you're not comfortable with doing yourself, or you're having to do it for the first time and you don't really know what the best choice to make is to achieve a task. Deb's saying a good tool to use with your procedure is mind mapping, so you can see all of the thought at a glance. Exactly, that's a predecessor to mind mapping. Exactly, Deb. It's kind of the simplest form of mind mapping. The only difference would it be is, it's just doing it on, paper or in a notepad or WordPad file or something. Kind of like you said, mind mapping in a way, except you're not using software to do it. You're just, listing out the choices and the possibilities. That is a great way to describe it. It's kind of like a basic mind mapping principle. Okay, so it looks like we're good with that. Don't have any questions on that. Okay, we didn't get that many questions this week. We only got 3 this week. All right, so the first question I got said, what's the deal with Amazon Prime Day? And this was over the email that I sent out this weekend about that hot sheet. They've actually been talking about this for a couple months now, and it's just now getting to the point where the media is picking up on it, especially last week, for instance. Amazon is trying a new marketing scheme where they're wanting to compete against Black Friday and have their own kind of like official retail sale holiday. So this year they're launching what they're calling Amazon Prime Day, and what they're going to do on Amazon Prime Day is anybody that's a member of the Amazon Prime, which I don't know if everybody knows what that is, but it's a special uh, membership you can join with Amazon where you get 2 days shipping and you get free instant watch movies and you get discounts on something. But they're going to have special sales for everybody that's a member of the Amazon Prime on July 15th. And they're comparing it to Black Friday in that they're going to have not only, specials that are going to last all day, but they're going to have like hourly specials, and, and they're claiming extreme discounts. They're not releasing, or they haven't yet that I've found anyway, um, the list of items that are going to be on these hourly sales. I've been trying to find that, the list of the items that are going to be on the hourly sales so I could know about them ahead of time. I'm going to keep digging into that. Maybe tomorrow they might release them since it'll be a day ahead of time. I don't know. But it's basically a marketing ploy by Amazon to try to get their own retail holiday. Is basically what it amounts to. I guess if it goes over really well, and it probably will. I mean, they've really hyped this up a lot. It's been in the media a lot the past week. if it goes over really well, I'm sure this is something that they're going to repeat every year in the middle of July. So that's the whole deal behind it. They're trying to boost their Prime membership by offering people some crazy, insane deals on what they're calling their own retail holiday, Amazon Prime Day. The next question says, and this was about, this actually got stemmed from the Amazon Prime Day hot sheet I sent out too as well. Of course, it was from a different person. Does the SociWiz really work as they claim? Um, I bought access to SociWiz just to see. I watched the videos and how they were getting instant traffic, they said, from, just a few seconds after they made a post. And I've made a total of 4 posts with it so far. And yeah, you do get instant hits back to their tracker, but it doesn't seem to be as accurate as using a tracker would show. For example, the first one that I posted, within a few seconds it come back and said I had 35 hits. And then after a full day, it come back and said I had 85 hits. And then I went and checked the tracker, that I used a tracking link with it, and the tracking link showed actually 35 hits instead of 85. Even though they were saying 85, I really only got 35 according to the tracker I was using. The very next one I posted, um, instantly it came back and said I had like 24, 29 hits. And of course I went and looked at the tracker and it was showing only about a fourth of that. After a full day with the second one, their stats was showing that I had 58 hits to that second post that I made. And in actuality, as far as when I was using a tracking link, it showed 35 hits. So, it does work as far as getting traffic, like they're saying, because what it does, it generates a post for you to go to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and Google Plus. Just makes it a click of a button to make those posts over on those social networks. So it does, do a good job as far as doing those postings. I do like that it does work like they claim as far as making the postings. It's a whole lot easier than doing them manually. But their stats are a little off on the dashboard when you're inside the members area. I think it's viewing the impressions instead of clicks. It can't be clicks because the clicks aren't matching what my tracker says. But it definitely does work. I mean, I did get some real clicks from it. Did get 2 Amazon Prime signups from it. I don't know what I'm going to get paid for that. I don't even know what you get paid for an Amazon Prime referral. But that's what I was experimenting with, was the Amazon Prime Day thing. And it did get hits. Like I said, I did get 2 people to sign up for Amazon Prime, but it's going to be 30 days before I get anything out of it, so I don't know what I'll get. But the software does work as they describe, as far as making it easier to post to those networks. Once you've got the listing set up, it's just click those buttons, those 5 buttons, and it posts them there, and you can go check on them instantly, and they are there. The next question said, have you tried ShockSpots, and what is it? That's a program that just got released today, and what it is, it's a kind of a banner generator type program for WordPress, that it takes content and generates a banner out of it that looks like it's part of the content of a post, in an effort to try to get people to click, the banners, instead of, people ignore banners a lot on websites now and blogs, that by disguising the banner to look like part of the content, that people will click on it. Now, I think their sales page is kind of misleading because it claims, instant traffic, 5 times the hits, or 5 times the traffic right off the bat. But what they're not telling you is it doesn't get you traffic, it just gets you extra clicks. So you may get, I don't know if you'll get 5 times more clicks or not, but that's what they're claiming. But it doesn't get you instant traffic, it's just try to get you the traffic that you have coming to your websites to click the banners that now look like content on your website. So I personally didn't buy it myself because it's, again, a WordPress plugin, and my WordPress has already got enough stuff in it. I don't need something else to slow it down, so I didn't get a copy of it. But the people I do know that have it uh, said that they can't really tell that big of a difference, and it does help as far as disguising banners and possibly getting people to click your banners, but it's not as big a deal as they're claiming it is. Let's see, that was the last question that I got. It was kind of a slow week for questions. Do you guys have any questions live before I got a couple of product announcements I wanted to tell you about. These are not my own, but just want to let you know of these. These are products that I actually bought myself. Or one of them I got review access to, and one of them I purchased. I wanted to tell you about them. Did any of you guys get Shock Spots? Does anybody on the call, did anybody buy that? It says many people, including me, are banner blind. I just pretty much ignore them. Okay. Well, yeah, Deb, that's like I said, that's the whole premise behind it. It tries to disguise your banners to look like it's part of the content. Like I said, I didn't buy it either. When I seen what it does, I didn't really see the urgent need to have something like that. I can create banners that look like content and not have to have their software to do that. So I didn't see slowing down my blog by adding another plugin in there for that. Of course, it may do other things that I don't know about. But just from what its main premise of what it's doing, I just didn't see a need for it, so I didn't get it. Okay. All right. Well, let me tell you about the two products that are coming out this week that I recommend, ones that I've tried myself. One of them, like I said, I bought one of them, then one of them I got review access to. One launching tomorrow is called Local Maps Hero. It's a PDF of a method of getting local business clients through maintaining their Google Maps listing. I did get review access to that one, and it is a pretty sound method that he's laid out in that PDF. Um, it sounds like something that would definitely work, and he gives you the exact details on how to gain access to a business maps listing that they haven't claimed yet. So that was kind of unique there, that I hadn't seen anybody post that before in a product on how to gain access to people, a business's Google local maps that hasn't been claimed. Of course, it does involve calling the business and telling them what you're getting ready to do. So it's not like you're going to hijack it or anything and then try to sell it. It's not about that. But the method he lays out in the PDF is really good, and I can see where it would gain some know, like, and trust with local businesses being able to do that for them. The second one, this one's coming out Wednesday, 11 o'clock. I believe it's Wednesday at 11. Is called Affiliate Bonus Page Generator, and this is one I bought. Um, I wasn't given review access to this one. And what it does is all these product launches that come out, especially the major ones, they usually have a JV bonus page that they give all of the JV partners that already has bonuses listed on it, and they give them a copy of it that you can open up in an HTML editor and edit and make it unique, like it's your own unique bonus page. This program does sort of similar to the same thing, except it's an online version of it where you just fill in a couple of blanks and you submit a button and it generates the page for you to download, and it's already ready to upload to your web server so that you'll have affiliate bonuses for a product launch. And you can also use it for products that you're launching as well, to make it available for affiliates so that they can have bonuses. That's one of the things that attracts affiliates. We talked about that in last week's training, but the week before last, about how to attract affiliates was to offer them bonus pages. Well, this is a great way of doing that with this little program. You can set up those bonus pages like the big guys are giving out now when they wanting to get JV partners. They generate them a JV bonus page. You can actually just send the affiliates to a place and let them fill in their info, and it'll generate the page for them. and it's a really nifty little program, and it's really dirt cheap for what it does. And the guy that's releasing it, I've known him for a long time. He's released some really good software before, so that's why I didn't have any problems buying it ahead of time because I knew the software he'd put out before. And he's going to be making updates to it because he wants you to sign up for an updates list because I made some suggestions to him last week on things to do for the program, and he's already implemented one of them that I suggested to him. So I definitely know that this guy is going to keep up with updating his program because it seems like he's got a really nice program here. And in fact, I'm going to be using it on a couple of affiliate programs that I'm going to be promoting this week, so you'll get to see it in action. But that's the two that's coming out this week, and of course I'm sure there's others coming out. There's probably a couple of major ones that I'm not going to promote, but these are the ones that are coming out this week that I've already had access to that I know are worth having. Deb says their CID made it still look like banners to me, just in the middle of the content rather than on the side. Yeah, one of the things they tried to do with Shock Spots is have the banners look like it was two column content. I noticed that was one of the options you had to. It would do a 728 by 90 banner, but then do a split down the center to make it look like it was two parts of a column, in like newsprint style columns. Like I said, they do their best to try to make the banner look like it's part of the content. That's the whole premise behind it. What I didn't like about it is the way they advertise it. Just by using that thing, you were going to get more traffic, and that's kind of a gray area. I mean, yeah, you're getting more traffic as far as people clicking the links, whereas they might have ignored them before. But just by using that plugin, you're not going to get more traffic to your website. Still got to have the traffic going to your website, or it's not going to do you any good to have it to start with. Deb says, so it creates bonus pages for affiliates to add their own bonuses to. No, right now it doesn't have the option to add bonuses to it. That's one of the things I talked to Mike about, was adding uh, a way for affiliates to be able to add their own bonuses on top of what the vendor was going to give them to use as bonuses as well. And he said it's going to be in the next update. And also, right now it doesn't have the option for putting a video at the top of the bonus page. You can have, the vendor can create a page that has a video on it. You've seen those before where, the like Todd Gross comes on there and shows you a little demo about whatever the program is. You can have something like that, but if you wanted to put your own review video on there, there's no way of doing that right now, and that's the third thing I suggested to him, that he add that ability to be able to put your own video on there instead of using the one from the vendor. So, like I said, he implemented the first change that I told him about, and then he said he's going to add the other two in the next update. So, and right now, like I said, it's really dirt cheap. Once he gets these things added to this program, it's really going to be worth quite a bit more than what he's selling it for. So look for that when it comes out. I mean, it's less than $10. That's how cheap it is. It's less than $10 for what it does. So now would be a great time to get it before he makes these other changes to it. Because once he makes these other changes to it, I'm sure you'll up the price on it. But it does create really nice looking bonus pages. And if you've done affiliate marketing very long, you know that's one of the things that helps you make affiliate sales is having bonuses. And most people don't know it, but these bonus pages that you go to, they're given to them by the vendor. Very few of them are actually created on their own. Most of them are, already pre-done for them. All they've done is just put their name at the top of it. Tony says, what about the OTOs? Anything that makes it better? There is no OTOs with it right now. It's just a flat out sale for the one product. He doesn't have anything in the funnel. Well, I take that back. He does have one option in the funnel to get a package of bonuses that you can add to the pages that you're creating. But all of them are available on Resale Rights Weekly or any PLR membership sites. I don't see no point in buying it unless you just wanting to save the convenience of looking them up yourself. But as far as any OTO upgrades, there isn't really any OTO upgrades to that thing. It's just that one offer to get a package of, I think it's like 65 different bonuses, and he's got them sectioned out into different product types, what bonuses would fit what type of product. So, you know, other than the time factor of the organization, all of those bonuses that's in that package, you can get them from any PLR membership site. It's just it might take you a little bit to find them. So, you know, it's up to people, how if they want to save their time or not. I didn't get it myself because, like I said, I know all those packages exist over in a lot of the PLR membership sites. And one thing, and he told me he's going to do this, and I've looked at the sales page, and it's not on there now, but he says it will be by in the morning or Wednesday when it launches. He was originally going to sell it as multi-use license only. In other words, you could use it on all of your own websites, but you couldn't use it on client websites. He told me today that he's going to give developer rights with it when it goes live Wednesday. So that'll make it even more attractive that you'll be able to set up bonus pages for other vendors as well. If you run across somebody, you want to help them with their product launch, you could say, hey, I'll create the bonus page for you, and that'd be your contribution to the product launch. That could be really handy. I could see where that would come in handy to have that option. Okay, guys, well, I think that's about it. Like I said, our lesson was a little short tonight because I just wanted to go through that really quickly because I was reminded of that this weekend of how that lesson applies to most everything in our life, and we could apply it to our online marketing. And like I said, the few questions I got, we didn't get very many questions. July is kind of a slow month for internet marketing to start with. Most people are on vacations in July. August things start picking up because people start going back to school. But July is a little slow month, so we didn't get very many questions in the emails this week either. But do you guys have any other questions before we call tonight? Looks like we're good to go. All right then. Well, I appreciate you guys coming to the call. I'm glad we made it through without getting disconnected. With the weather, I was expecting to get disconnected, but we made it through it. So appreciate you guys coming to the call. We'll have another one next Monday. I'm not sure what the topic will be. Depends on what happens during the week, because most of the time I pick these topics out during the week and usually on the weekend sometime. But thanks for coming to the call, guys. If you need me, you know how to get a hold of me. If you're part of the Facebook group, you can get me there or send me emails. Go to the replay form, go to the replays and use the question form there if you have a question to submit for next week. I'd like to get lots of questions for next week. We've been getting an average of about 4 to 5, sometimes 3. But you guys could just go to the replay and submit your questions there. That would help greatly for next week's call. But y'all have a great night, and thanks for coming.